It's time for Recipe of the Day. Chicken breasts have that bad reputation for being dry sometimes, especially when cooked whole. And that is solved by stuffing them with something that has some moisture. Then the very middle of the chicken breast has this nice juicy stuff going on, and that helps the whole chicken breast experience. This recipe is stuffed with a mixture of cream cheese and Swiss cheese and some other flavorings, and then whole asparagus spears are laid inside of there. It's really easy to do, but it's also just really pretty because when you slice perpendicular to those asparagus spears, you can see like the dots of green inside of the chicken. It just looks really, really nice. So this is a really, really easy recipe to make. It's very tasty, juicy, and also just has this really pretty presentation. So here is how you make it. This recipe uses my easiest way for stuffing chicken breasts, which is to butterfly them. You're not making a pocket and stuffing anything in there. You don't even need any toothpicks for this. It's really, really simple. So to butterfly a chicken breast for this recipe, first we have to make sure that we are cutting the right edges. Okay, so if you put a chicken breast on a cutting board in front of you, you want one of the longer sides to be on the right and the other long side to be on the left. Shorter sides are further in front of you and closer to you. The chicken breast is rounded side up, so like the nicer side of the chicken breast, because that's going to be the presentation side, the top. And then you're going to take your knife parallel to the cutting board, and you're slicing the chicken's thickness. You are making it thinner by slicing right through the middle with your knife parallel to the cutting board. Go all the way across almost. You are stopping before you cut all the way through so that you have a hinge there on the left side and you can open that up like a book. So the hinge is like the spine of the book, right? Okay. So now your chicken breast is butterflied and open and ready for stuffing. And you're going to repeat that with 3 more chicken breasts. I will stop here to say that you can use boneless, skinless chicken thighs instead of breasts. It's just quite a bit different. You're not going to butterfly them first because they're already thinner. And you can just do like half as much filling and half as much asparagus in and just fold the little boneless chicken thigh over it. Kind of like, you know, when the butcher is taking the bone out of the chicken thigh, they remove the bone, then they wrap the chicken thigh back around where the bone was. The asparagus will be where the bone was. You see what I mean? You can do that, or you can make each one out of 2 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, laying one down, the filling and asparagus on top, and then the other on top of that. So either of those are options, and nothing else about the recipe changes, just that you're not going to get as much stuffing in there if you're doing 1 chicken thigh, but the cooking times and everything stay the same. Okay, once your chicken is ready to go, you are mixing together 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, which is like at room temperature and like spreadable. If you have not taken it out of the fridge, I know I forget all the time, you can put it in a container, like a microwave safe container in the microwave. Take off any foil packaging from it, of course, and you're putting it in the microwave on defrost or on power level 50%, power level 5, whatever your microwave does. And you're just going to do it for 10 seconds at a time and just kind of cut into it regularly until it's spreadable. Okay. You don't want it melting. It's not going to matter that much, but you don't want it like melting. You just want it spreadable. To that, you are adding a half cup of shredded Swiss cheese or any meltable cheese. Mozzarella is good here. Cheddar's good. Monterey Jack is good with like that spicy jalapeno Monterey Jack. That's really nice. So any of those. And then 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. I just find it so bright and fresh in here, and it goes so well with the asparagus. If you don't have lemon zest or you don't have any lemons there to zest, don't worry. I'm going to circle back to this in a moment and tell you what you can use instead. Okay, so you've got the cream cheese, the shredded cheese, the lemon zest. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and mix that up. Now, if you don't have any lemon zest, you can use lemon pepper instead. You'll want a 1/2 teaspoon, but then you omit that 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper that I just told you about. If you don't have lemon pepper, you just want that little brightness. I really find that a good pinch of ground coriander or of dry oregano leaves is going to get you there. So any of those are great options. Then you're going to mix that up and then get those chicken breasts. I, at this point, put them on a baking sheet, and your oven should be preheating at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're going to have your chicken breasts all open like those open books, and you're spreading a quarter cup of the cream cheese mixture onto each one, evenly on both sides of the open chicken breast. So if this is a book, on both the right and the left pages of that open book. And then onto the right page, so just onto one half of each chicken breast, you are laying 3 asparagus spears. All you needed to do was wash them and then just trim off the tough end. You can make them the same length as your piece of chicken if you want to. If they're bigger than that, if they're longer than that, or just leave them dangling out, that's fine. And so you put 3 of them in a single layer on top of the filling on just one side. And then you fold the other side up and over top using that hinge, that spine of that book. And now the filling and the asparagus are enclosed inside. I don't use toothpicks or anything here. I find that even though the cheese will melt, there's not tons of it. And because it's in cream cheese, which doesn't really melt, ooze, drip out in the same way, it kind of holds together pretty good inside of the chicken. You don't need anything. Now, there is a nice little crunchy topping to put on top of these if you want to. You can skip the topping if you don't want any bread involved in the recipe. But if you do want it, what you're going to do is mix together a half cup of panko breadcrumbs with a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Stir that up, then add 2 teaspoons of olive oil, or really any kind of cooking oil, and just stir that up. At first, it's going to seem like it's not going to mix. It seems like there's not enough oil, really. That's what it looks like. But you just keep stirring, and all those crumbs eventually moisten each other. And you've got this nice flavored panko topping where each crumb has been lightly oiled. So you know that's going to get nice and crispy. And then you just kind of pile that onto the tops of each of your chicken breasts, dividing it between the 4 of them, pushing down lightly so that it sticks in place. And then those are going into the oven. If you're not using the bread topping, just brush the top of each chicken breast with a little bit of oil so that it helps it to brown a little bit. And then those are ready for that 425 degree Fahrenheit oven. You are baking them until the chicken is no longer pink inside and the internal temperature all the way in the center is at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, you're kind of measuring the filling as well as the chicken in there because the filling is in the middle, but the filling has now touched the raw chicken. So you want everything to be at that temperature. It's going to take between 23 to 27 minutes. If the breadcrumbs start to brown too much in that time, it really depends on where they are in the oven compared to other things. You just want to tent them loosely with aluminum foil and that will stop browning. Now you're going to transfer the chicken off of the baking sheet when it's cooked and let it rest for 5 minutes. And then you can serve each portion whole or slice perpendicular to the asparagus spears to get that really pretty presentation where you're showing the little circles of asparagus in the middle of the chicken. It looks really nice. Okay, I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is May 22nd of 2025. You can also get the link in our Facebook group. I post the recipe of the day link there every day. You can always find what I'm talking about, get inspired for what you can make tonight or later this week. The Facebook group is at facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.